All right. Welcome to Bikas Web Channel. My name is Bikas, and I'm here back again with another video. Video is about a junior JavaScript developers, live coding or technical interview question. Okay, so if you are in that phase and you are looking for something to inspire you to get some example of, then this video is targeted for you. And if you like this, then definitely you have to smash the like button. And if you are new to this channel, you can hit the subscribe button as well as press the bell notification icon. That way you will be notified whenever I upload new videos. And talking about that, there are more videos coming. I have been repeating for a while. I'm now working on a portfolio video, so showing you how to create your own portfolio project in React, and then how to showcase your portfolio and so on. Similarly, there are also other videos such as full stack mon project, but the reason is I'm a bit occupied at this point of my life, so those videos are now due a bit later. However, they are coming soon, so for that reason you need to subscribe my channel. With that being said, let's start the video. Alright, so before starting in today's video or directly going or jumping into the task, I would also like to give you a little bit background. Usually this kind of interview, it comes as a second or third step. So there can be a recruiter or just a phone screening, and then maybe there is a first interview where they are trying to see about your background and so on, and then followed by maybe second, third, depending on how the company prioritize this kind of tasks or this kind of live coding, where there are a couple of developer testing your knowledge. And mainly here it's less of quantity and more of quality. So about your thought process, how you approach the problem, what kind of thinking process you have it, and how and so on. So always remember that you don't have to finish everything given in the task. However, it's nice that you share your thought process as you go with. Okay, so these are pretty basic five tasks. Okay, however, for the junior position, this should be enough to test your knowledge and understanding. And obviously this is followed after the first interview, where they go also about your motivation, how long you have been working and so on. So obviously this is not the only one part of the interview. Okay, so let's go here, and I have a task one. And then the task one says, okay, just before starting, I have this simple HTML project, and then I have just embedded this app.js. But maybe in your real interview, you can be doing in some online JS editor or so on. So it really doesn't matter. We are now printing everything in console log, but it can be a different kind of online coding environment, but that really doesn't matter. Okay, so the task one, and it says write a function that takes an array of strings as an argument, and then sort the array elements alphabetically. So and then return the result. Okay, so this is a bad example. I think I copied something wrong. So let's just go here. Let's have web, and then what it expects. It expects each of these elements or this alphabet as a separate element, and then it should be sorted alphabetically. Okay, so in this case, let's just write manually here E and W. I think this is what the question means. So now we have to find a way. So let's say we have argument. Okay, we can write here. So let's just do something first. We can have an array, and then that array should consist of each of the argument. Okay, from the string. So how can we do that? Okay, let's try something. We have array, and then let's just do split. And how do we split? We split with this, so we can always give how do we want to split, and then we just do that, and then we can save this as a string array, and then we can alphabetically sort this. So a string array is a string array dot sort. We have element where a greater than b, that's 1 minus 1, and then we just want to return a string array, and then let's just console log my function, and let's give web. All right, so we are getting some error here. We are getting undefined, and it can be maybe because we have two functions here. So okay, so b is not defined. That's fine. So okay, now it makes sense. I want b here. Assignment to constant variable. Oh yeah, we can do let here, and then just like that we have our solution. Okay, so this is also process in your real interview that you might need to tweak things. Even if you know the answer or if you know the possible solution, things might not work out as you expect. Things might break. There can be separate different code editor or anything, but the idea is that how we use this split method. Okay, and then with split method we get things into array. So for example, when you do like this, and then if you just get a string array, you see initially whatever we pass. So if I pass because web here, then we are basically getting each letter and then assign those in an array. So that's what this array.split does. And then we can also assign it into separate array, or we can directly return this thing here, however you would like to do it. However, this is a sort, and then the sorting takes first and the second element, check it, and if the first element is greater than second element, it will return as it is, otherwise it will change the position, and that way it keeps on going until the end, and then you have this kind of alphabetical order. Okay, so this should be done in my opinion. If you have a separate another opinion, you can also do that. Now let's comment this out so that we won't have any sort of problem like we had earlier. And then let's go here, and then let's toggle the block comment. Okay, and then let's just go and toggle the line comment here. So we have a second question here, task 2, and then the task 2 is something. So the idea in the task 2 is it should take it should be a function that should take object and then the key of the object, and then it should return the key. So example is given here. If we have a function and we first pass the first argument as an object, and then the second argument should be the key for that object, and then it should return the value or the answer of that. Okay, so it's a simple actually implementation. Simple question asked is in the task 2. So let's go down here, and then let's just console log, and let's console log basically this example here. Okay, so we are expecting the first as argument, second. So it's super simple. We can do it in multiple way. One is all we need to do is object.key. Okay, that is one way. However, this .key might not work exactly because .key does not expect. So we can do something like this. So this should do the job, and let's save it. Okay, so we are getting again error, and don't know exactly what kind of error it is. Illegal return statement 8. Okay, so we are getting illegal return statement. Why is that? So we are console logging, and we have continent, we have that. So the idea is that whenever you use key like this, it means actually this object dot continent. So that's what it means, and it should return Asia as in our example here. But we are getting this, and this is again an interesting part. So let's just pause, try to console log here. Object key, we actually don't need this. Still missing after argument. Okay, at least here we are missing something. my function is not defined. Oh yeah, that's true. That's totally true. Okay, that's interesting. So now let's just do something here, what we did earlier, and then we get S here. All right, so this would be it. Let's try with another example. So let's have an object. Let's object, and this object can be name, and that can be because web, and then that can be age. I always do the same thing. And then channel, let's say we have YouTube channel. Okay, so now if I pass here, so if I pass here object, and then if I pass here name, yeah, you see I got because web. Similarly, if I pass here channel, we can get YouTube. Now with this we can also see something else. For example, if we want to know that the key does not exist in this object, we can even return some sort of error. What happens if some user actually sends something wrong here? So let's say we have channels here and this is undefined. What happens there? So in that case we can do if object has, there is something, let's Google, because sometimes Googling is allowed. So object has keys JavaScript, so we can do something like that. Okay, object has own property key. Okay, so we can also do key in object. Let's try first if key in object, then only we can do this. We can just return invalid key. Okay, so that is something we can do. And now if we go and see here, it says invalid key. Also there is another thing, object has own property. We can also check that. So I wanted to show you this because during interview this kind of follow-up questions might appear, and this is also another way. The task might be super simple, but it shows your thought process, how you adapt to change and think about edge cases and so on. All right, so the question number 2 or the task 2 is also done. Now let's go and let's be in the task 3. Okay, so in task 3 we have an array, and this is a list of passengers. Okay, we have ID and this kind of thing. Passenger name is vegetarian. So let's go and let's see the question. So the first there are 3 part of the question. There is first main question, and then there are bonus parts. So the first one is get the passenger's name using data provided. Okay, so main question, passenger name is inside the object and then passenger. So we can do this question in multiple ways. One is a loop method. So that is, for example, let's have passenger names and we can have this array as it is, and then we can loop, and this is our array here. So for passengers, so let's have I is 0, I is less than the length, passengers dot length, and then I plus plus. So we want to do something here, and then finally we wanna console log names, and then it can be passenger names. Okay, so that's what we want. What we want to do is we just want passenger names dot push. We want to push here, and what we want to push here, we want to push here passengers, and then we get I. We are starting from 0, so the first one will be this index dot, and we have something here, and that is passenger name. All right, so okay, and you can see already we have answer, and we are having all the names. that starts from Freddy and then Amy, Kurt until Michael. So we have all these names here, and this is already done. So this is one way, but we can also do another way, and that another way is using for each. So we have passengers dot for each. Okay, and we will get elements, and we can do basically the same thing, passenger names dot push, and then elements dot passenger name. Okay, something is not right here. First, let's just have, okay, so that's good. Elements is good. So we want we actually don't need to even return anything, I guess. We just need passengers name array elements dot all, just so that we don't miss everything. Oh, okay, we are not console logging anything. And then, okay, so this is another way to get it. This is also good. And then we can also do it a third way. And the third way is we don't need to have all those. We can directly have something called passenger names. And then we can use passenger.map. This will also give us each passenger. And then all we need to do is passenger dot, let's just have this. So from here, because in case of dot map, it will return another array, and that array we are saving it here. So, and then what we are returning, of course, we can also have curly braces here, and then with that, then we have to use return. And I have made few videos about this, so just go back to my channel and see about those map and everything there. But anyway, now let's save it, and we are getting some issue here. So passenger is not defined, and this is passenger. Okay, here is the problem. So now if you see here, it's the same. Okay, so moving on, we have bonus part A, return vegetarian, vegan. So we have to return only the people those are vegan. So one way we can definitely do also from this this way. So let's just go here, and then let's just say veg passenger. We don't need names because it's asking us to return everything that is vegetarian, hopefully. So we are probably returning object, so we can just do veg passenger. All right, so how we can do is we can use the same. However, here can do something here. If passenger dot okay, if that's the case, then only we want to return passenger. So now if you go here and if you see, we have only 3 passengers because the first one, the option vegetarian or vegans, was false. So we don't have Freddy. However, we have other. But if we want to go and if we change this to true, you will see we will have all. And let's say Michael is no more vegetarian or vegan. In that case, again, okay, this is undefined. So we don't get that anymore. This probably is not the best answer because maybe we don't want to return anything, so we can handle that case. However, this is a map way. We can also go with a loop and everything, but there is even better approach, and the better approach is, let's go, and here we have still passengers, and filter. And what filter does is filter gives us a new array that matches with our query here. Okay, so we have passenger, and then we just want passenger, and then whoever has this option. Okay, so now we got our 3, and we have Freddy, Kurt, but we don't have Michael. However, if I make this to true, we will get all 4. So that way we have those vegetarian list. Okay, so that is also good. And if we wanted to also print only the name of vegetarian, we could apply this with our earlier approach and then return maybe with map or whatever in a separate array, and that array will have only the name of vegetarian people. Okay, so we have another bonus here: sort passengers by the number of connected flights in descending order. Okay, this is a pretty much same thing, except we have to use sorting here. So let's go here. Okay, we can also change this, and this can be sorted with connected flights. Okay, it really doesn't matter. So we have some option here, connected flights, and then yeah, okay, that's interesting. So how to deal with this? This is pretty interesting situation. We know this is pretty defined here, and we can even see the 1, 2. So basically descending. So this should be first, and then this should be second, and so on. Obviously we can read it because there are only 4 elements here, or 4 objects here, but if we have more than that, that will be a problem. So let's start here. So passengers dot sort, and then we can always have 2 value here, A and B, and then what we want is A dot connected flights. If that's greater than B dot connected flights, if that's true, we return 1, otherwise we return -1. Seems like we are getting error, reference error, A is not defined. Okay, so let's just go and let's do it like this, and let's save it, and voila. Okay, so we have this, and here it says, okay, so we wanted to have those in descending order, and this looks more like in an ascending order. Okay, so we can do it either by flipping this or by flipping this. So we had like that, so let's do this, and then okay, so we have 4, 3, 2, 1. That's good. So with this we also completed our task 3 and bonus part. Okay, so task 4, and then the task 4, actually I just copy pasted this. I haven't seen anything or even tried this. So task 4 says write a function called SumRange. Okay, so we need to call a function, and the name is expected here, SumRange. Obviously it can be anything. It will take a number, let's see, let's just go here and let's expand. Okay, so it will take a number and return the sum of all number from 1 to the number passed in. Okay, so the idea is pretty simple, that if you have 3 number, it has to add from 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on. Okay, so it keeps on adding until the number of range. Okay, so that's what. So this, if we are passing 3, it has to have the addition of 3. If it is 4, then we also add, for example, plus 4 here, and that should be 10, and so on. Okay, so that's the idea. Now let's go and let's console log, and then sum range, and let's just give 3. I always like to do that. Okay, so that we can check our answer as it was given in the test case. Const sum range. Okay, and then so we have to return something. That's interesting. So this question is pretty interesting. So we have to pass some sort of range, and then we have to do few things here, or maybe range is not the good idea. We can have number here or n or whatever. Okay, so we need to do one test. So what if we get only one? Okay, so we have the range is only one. In that case, we don't need to add anything. So we can check if number is one, we can just return one because we don't need to do anything. In other cases, okay, so when we have something else than that, then we need to do is return, okay, number, and then add, and then we have to do something here, and this is usually called recursion. So we have to call the same function inside that function. Okay, so the idea is if I do some range here, and then what I need to pass here is whatever number minus, because we have already handled the first case, so that should be 1. Okay, now if I save here, you can see already the answer is 6, and if I put it here 4, we get 10. If I put it here 5, we should get 15. If I do it 6, we should get 21, and so on. All right, so how this works? Okay, so the question here is simple, but also not simple. This is what I have personally felt with recursion. It works like a charm, just one line. However, it's kind of difficult to understand. So let's break things. So we have 6 minus 1, and that is 5. Okay, then what it does is in the next time, because we keep on calling this function with minus 1, the next time we will have 5 plus 5 minus 1, and it keeps on going there and there and there until the number is 1. So it comes back to 1, and then it returns 1 itself, and then that is added, and that's how this is called. So this is called recursion. So this is how you solve. Okay, and let's comment this out. Okay, so the last one is also recursion. Okay, so the function should return an array containing the repetition of the number argument. For instance, if we replicate 3, 5, it should be 5. Okay, so the first one is how many times we want to repeat, and then the second one is what we want to repeat, which number we want to repeat. Okay, so there should be example, replicate 3, 5. Okay, so let's write a function. It takes 2 arguments, so it should be times, so how many times we want, and then this is a number. It is talking about number, so times and number. So if we have 5 here and 6 here, so we have to print 6 5 times. Okay, so the example, let's just console log here, and then replicate, and 3 and 5, and then this should be 3 times 5. At the moment we don't get anything, it's undefined. However, as we go, I think we will see something. Okay, so how to approach this problem? Okay, so a loop can do this job, I guess. Why not? It should. But again, the thing here is almost the similar approach like here, because we just need to count this times and either go up or go down. Okay, so how to do this? Okay, one is we can have something here. Oh, actually we cannot have, we just have this function. So let initially we can have this, and then for we can have I is 1, and then I is less than or equals to times, and then I plus plus. So that means we are, and then we can do is new array dot push number, and then return new array. All right, so this is one way we see. So we have new array, and then it just loops every time. So if I have it 4 times, then we should see that 4 times. If we have 10 times, we can see that 10 times. So this is without recursion, okay, just using a normal loop, for loop. So this is one way. What happens if we get 0 time? Okay, so basically empty array. So that is also good. I was thinking that if we want to handle that, if times is less than or 0, actually that's true, then we want to already return it here. So for example, if someone sends here -5 times, then also we are handling that case. But if we had not this, oh, it's still handling. Okay, that's good. So this is one way, and actually without using any recursion, just with loop, we already solved it. So if we want like 10 times to print 6, then we get the 6, and that should be good. And actually that's already done for this. But however, there is also another way, and that is we return first time. I just put that, and that will be only 1 time. However, I need to keep on adding something. Again, I can use push method here. That is also possible. We can try it later. And there is something called array concat. That is basically we are just adding, keep on adding. So I can even add my name here, and you see I added this because in this array where we have initially number. However, our approach here is we need to keep on adding that number this many times. So let's go here, and then what I can do is I can call this same function, okay, and then if you remember here what I did, I can do the times, because one is already there, so I just need to minus 1. So in that case, first time it's already there, and then it keeps on adding another and another. So if I do that, okay, maximum call stack exceeded. Okay, so I need to also give what I want to call. Okay, so this is replicate. Oh yeah, and then I'm calling this replicate function, and then this time I want to decrease it times by 1, but however the number should be same, and then that way it should keep on adding here. However, we are getting some problem here, and I'm assuming if that problem can be fixed with something here. So if times is, because it keeps on minusing, so at some point it goes in the negative. So here I think we need to check return. Okay, so now you see we can also do this with this method. So basically we keep on adding it, and then we use the recursion. So we use the same function, and this is okay. This works. So now you got the 2 ways to do this. So with that, I think we are pretty much done here. And as you saw that a lot of things here were pretty simple. We could also do basic for loops and so on. However, there can be a lot of follow-up questions. So what this concat does, or why we are using it, or can you walk us through what exactly is happening under the hood? So just like how I showed you earlier. And with that, I think your interviewer will understand that, okay, this guy knows what is happening. So it's not just copy pasting the answer, or you just knew it from your previous implication, but actually you understand. So remember, it's not always about solving what is given there, but also it's about how you are thinking. There can be errors, there can be simple console log issue, or like you saw earlier when I was doing it, there were a couple of things. I was missing brackets, I was getting some syntax error and everything. So in the pressure, when you are giving an interview, and then there are some people judging you, and in the same time, how calm you are, how nicely, because Trust me, in your everyday working life, you will be encountering such issues. You will be talking with your senior developer or your other colleagues. You might be doing pair coding where you are sharing your code editor and you guys are trying to find or debug things together, because that's what actually a real practical working life is. And this kind of questions are, for me at least, better than someone giving you home tasks or homework, because I'm against homework. So I like this kind of approach, and I hope with this now you have a little bit more confidence about your next interview. If you have more questions, you can ask it in the comment below and I will try to answer those. And I also have more advanced level interview questions coming, and probably I will also use some of my friend and actually try to do mock interviews in future. So if that sounds good, if that's what you are looking for, then also you should subscribe my channel and hit that notification icon. I hope this video was useful, and I will be back with another videos in future. Until then, keep coding. Bye bye.